Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. For today's review, we're going to take a look at the High Metal R VF-1J Super Valkyrie Maximilian Jenius Custom by Bandai. And here's the front of the packaging. Very nice artwork of Max's VF-1J in the front here. And you can just make out Milia's Valkyrie there, which is cool. A little tiny window in the front, so you can just see half of the figure inside. Spin around to the side, you've got a close-up photo of the figure. On the back, we've got front and back view, close-up features and gimmicks, and the fighter and Gerwalk mode. And on this side, another shot of the figure. And on the top, you've got VF-1J Super Valkyrie, High Metal R, and on the bottom, different artwork, but pretty much the same content. And here's the inside of the packaging. You can see all the accessories laid out very nicely on two separate trays. So you've got the front tray with the figure and wing parts, missiles, hands, etc. And then you've got the fast packs on the second tray, as well as the display stand. And here are the accessories that VF-1J comes with. This is from the top tray. So you get a pair of wings. So these are not attached to the figure when they first come out of the box. And with this set, the left and right, and it doesn't come with any missile attachment points. So it's nice and smooth. Whereas the second set that you get, it does come with the missile attachment points underneath. So you get that in the left and right as well. And then you also get a pair, or actually a joint wing set, which you can clip onto the back of the figure. And this is for robot mode, so that it looks more in proportion than having giant wings sticking out the back. So you get that as well. And then you also get the gun pod unit. And with the gun pod unit, you have to remove the handle to be able to retract the gun pod. And then I'll show you a couple of other hands that fit on the gun pod in a minute. And he also comes with two pairs of twin reaction missiles, or nuclear missiles. So these attach to the bottom of the wings with the hard points, just like that. And you also get a pair of single ones, so you can mount them. You can mount all three of them onto the wings, like so. And he also comes with a clear canopy cover for the Gerwalk and jet mode. So because this is not a perfect transformation figure, you have to actually swap out the canopy when in robot mode and Gerwalk and jet mode. So this piece actually swaps out to the clear one. And also you get the exhaust, intake covers. So these are the covers that has the turbine molded in, and it is to replace this piece here when in Gerwalk and jet mode. And he also comes with a cover for robot mode or Batroid mode. So this cover covers the top of his torso area, and it covers up all the ugly transformation mechanisms there. And you've got the rear landing gears for jet mode. So obviously these don't fit inside the tiny legs, so you have to actually swap them out. And you also get the front landing gear. Very nicely painted. It is a shame that you have to do part swapping with this guy, but at this scale it's understandable. And then there's 3 display stand adapters, so they're just clear plastic that clips onto the figure in each of the modes. Okay, oh, and then there's also a tiny figure of the pilot. So it is very, So it is very tiny, so be careful not to lose it. And this will fit into the cockpit, which I will show you in a minute. And then coming down to the hands. So the figure itself comes with a pair of fisted hands, and they are designed to fit inside the figure once it's been transformed. So proportionally they are a little bit small if you're comparing to the anime appearance of the hands. So what Bandai has done, they have included larger hands to be more anime accurate. So you get two designs. There's one design that is a little bit more round and human-like, and then there's one design that's a little bit more square and mechanical-like. But they're both much larger in proportion. So in the round human-like hand, you get the open palm splaying hands, and you get a sort of like open palm, but not as wide hands. And you also get a pair of fists. And you pretty much get the same with the angular mechanical hands. You get the open splay hands. I think this might be to hold the top of the gun pod, or the barrel of the gun pod, like so, type hands. So you get that in the angular mechanical style, and you also get a pair of close fisted hands in the angular mechanical style. And you also get a pair, or not a pair, but gun holding hands in both the angular style and also the rounder human hand style. So what you do with that is you take the handle off the gun pod, and then you just stick whichever hand you like on there, and it stays in there quite well. And then same for this side, for this style, you kind of just stick it in there, and that works fairly well. And here is the fastpack tray. So you get a Maximilian display base, custom display base in his signature blue color, as well as the arms and the attachment pieces. So that's really cool. And then obviously you get the fastpack booster that attaches to the back of the Valkyrie. So that just plugs in like that, which is cool. And then you've got the leg armor, very nicely painted, very nicely detailed. And that of course plugs into the back of the leg, like so. And then you've got a pair of the arm armor, which is really cool as well. And that plugs onto the arm, like so. And you also get 4 missile pods. It's very nicely detailed again. You can see the missiles in there. And of course, this attaches to the wing with the attachment points, so you can customize your payload. Here I've got the mechanical looking optional hands attached with the gun, and just show you quickly. Swapping it over is pretty easy. Just pull this off the gun, and I'll put the round human-like hands on, plug it back into the peg. Same on this side. And that's how it looks. And just quickly looking at the wings on the back in Batroid mode. So here I've got the short wing attached, and that just pulls out, and you can put the normal wings on, and I'll just show you how that looks. So it simply clicks on to the little pegs inside, and you can fold it down, and immediately you can see the difference in size. So I'm pretty glad that they included this, because in Batroid mode it does look a lot better. So in jet mode, you can put the landing gears on, undo the front cover, and stick the front landing gear on, and then undo the back covers here, landing gear on this way, yep, and this way, and that's how it looks with the landing gear fitted on. And to get the pilot into the cockpit, pull the whole thing off. There is a little peg on the seat and a little hole on his bum. Just kind of push him in so he doesn't kind of rattle around in there. And then close the cockpit. And there's Max in his cockpit. And here's a closer look at the figure without the fast packs attached. Proportionally, he looks very, very nice. He basically looks like a shrunken down Yamato Arcadia 160 scale VF-1J, which is a good thing. The blue on him looks very nice, contrast against the white. Spinning him around to the back, you can see even more paint detail there on the wings. Good detail there on the boosters. Coming down to the leg, very tidy paint job there on the leg. There are two small negatives that kind of stand out with this figure. The first one is one of my feet is very loose, so it's a little bit rattly. So this one is not so bad, but if you shake the figure, you can see this one is rattling quite a lot. The other thing is I really don't like the way they've used standard silver screws for the knee joints, because it stands out quite a lot, even from a distance, if you shine some light on it. I wish they would have put a cap on it, or possibly painted the screw blue as well. And here he is with the fast pack attached, and immediately it gives him a much more bulkier and more powerful look. And for the booster here on the back, I've just taken one side off, the cover, so you can see the detailing here. Very nicely detailed and painted in the back there. And these boosters, of course, can move around, so that's really nice. With the fast pack on, there is another small problem that kind of arises. Due to the extra weight, this piece sometimes starts to separate and lean backwards, and unlike the 160 scale figures, there isn't a little latch to kind of lock the backpack in place. And here's a look at the figure in jet mode, and I have to say it's a very, very lovely mode. The plane looks sleek, and everything tabs in pretty well together once you get over the frustration of the transformation process, but I'll get to that in a minute. And here he is with the fast pack parts on, and he looks bloody awesome. Just have a look at the top and the bottom. As you can see, the stand adapter clips in very nicely, so the figure stays in there very solidly. And here he is in go walk mode, and he looks really, really good. I think any Valkyrie that can pull off a good go walk mode is a good Valkyrie. And for articulation, he can look up that far and look down that much, but you can tilt his head up to give him some extra downwards range, and you can rotate his head all the way around, and unfortunately no side to side tilting. Coming around to the shoulders, he does have a little bit of a butterfly movement, but that's also that's because of the transformation joint. But on the shoulders, it's a big ball joint, so he can rotate around. He can lift up his arms that much. There's also an extra hinge joint there, so it allows him to lift up more than horizontally, just a little bit more. And there's a bicep swivel, so you can swivel his arms around. Double jointed elbows, which gives him a very, very nice bend. And ball jointed wrists, so he can rotate and turn a little bit in and out. And no waist joint, unfortunately. So coming down to his hips, there is a pull-out gimmick, so you can give him a little bit more extra stance. So with the hips pulled out, he can split that much. And I'll just show you with the hips not pulled out. So that's how much it splits without the hips pulled out. And then he can kick up. Well, if you don't use the Gerwalk joint here, he can only kick up that much. But if you use the Gerwalk joint, obviously he can kick all the way up to his head, which is really cool. And then double jointed knees, which gives him a 90-degree bend, which is pretty good for a robot. My mistake, it's only a single jointed knee, but it gives him a 90-degree bend, which is good. And coming down to his, oh yeah, and there is a knee swivel there. And then coming down to his feet, obviously this closes up for transformation and opens up that far. And tiny bit of ankle, actually I wouldn't even call it ankle pivot, it just kind of moves from side to side. So not much ankle pivot at all, but you can kind of angle his feet up and down like that. In Bachelorade mode, he comes in at 14 centimeters to the top of the head, but if you want to measure to the top of the super packs, he comes in at about 16.5 centimeters. First up we have Ichijo Hikaru's VF-1S from the same series, and here he is with Robodamashi VF-25G. And here he is with GNU Door Macros Plus YF-19. And here he is with Yamato 160 scale VF-1A. And here he is with Metal Build Gundam Astray. Here he is with DC Icons Superman. And finally, here he is with Marvel Legends Nick Fury. Just a quick note, after transforming him a few times, I have noticed that the paint has chipped on his chin. So if you plan on playing with this guy and transforming him between his modes, just be careful about the potential paint chipping on the chin. On the whole, I really like this figure. He looks really good in all three modes, and the paint is really nice on him, and I've been wanting to get this color scheme of a VF-1J for a while now, because obviously the 1 to 60 scale is very expensive on the secondary market. So I'm really happy to finally have this color scheme in my collection. The only thing is, with this scale, the transformation is very fiddly. A lot of things kind of fall off as you try to change in between the different modes, like the antenna. And once that comes off, it's really hard to put back on unless you kind of semi-untransform him. And the fact that there's so many parts to swap. Just zoom out so you know what I'm talking about. I'm really not a big fan of parts forming, and the fact that you have to keep all of these somewhere is not ideal for me. I do like the scale of these guys. At 1 to 100 scale, they are very easy to collect because they don't take as much space as the 1 to 60 scale figures. And they've got pretty much all of the detail that you'd want in a 1 to 60 scale, but in a smaller format. So that's really nice. And also the fact that they scale with my Metal Build Gundams now, that is a major plus for me. I love having things in scale, even between different franchises. So yeah, that's really cool. I'll definitely be picking up more from this line, and I'm really looking forward to Milia's VF-1J release. And that concludes my review of the High Metal R VF-1J Super Valkyrie Max Custom. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time for another toy review.